The forecast says that another snowstorm is on the way, and we were only halfway finished getting the steel on. But if we kept our shoulder to the wheel, we'd get it done in time. That is, if we didn't run out of material first. Since we were using salvage steel, we had a limited number of panels to work with. We estimated that we had enough usable pieces to cover the cabin, but that was before we decided to build the dormers. Now we weren't so sure if we had enough to go around. If we were to run out, the problem was that we likely wouldn't be able to get any more, due to widespread material shortages, steel being one of them. That's 2020 for you.
Okay, let him go. Okay, got it. Okay. Okay. Let it go. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
It felt good getting the straight stretch on, but the real work was before us, fitting the steel around the dormer. I'd like to thank ThruNight for sponsoring this episode. I've partnered with them to create this special edition Outsider flashlight. Believe it or not, this high-powered tactical flashlight is brighter than a pair of high-beam headlights, thanks to its advanced LED and high-capacity lithium battery, which is rechargeable. Anyway, if you'd like to grab one while supplies last, I've included a link in the description below.
That's 3.
Okay.
You can hinge mine if you want. Okay, I got it.
The next panel would have to be cut to fit against the dormer, so I made a pattern that I would use to make the finished piece. Let's see, if the pattern fits, the finished piece will too. Perfect.
Probably want to pack that in down a little bit first, I guess.
So here's the deal. I took a quick inventory of the amount of material that we have left, and I just discovered that we don't have enough to finish the roof, which is unfortunate because a snowstorm is coming either tomorrow or the day after. And once that snowstorm hits, the snow is likely going to stay. So I have a panel and a half left, which would be enough to finish this straight stretch. But unfortunately, above the dormer, we still have two smaller pieces that need to go in, and we don't have enough material to do above the dormer. Now we do have scrap pieces of panels all here around the cutting table, but we measured and checked all of them and none of them will work. They're just too small, or the holes are in the wrong place since they've been pre-drilled, and they just don't work. So that's the dilemma we found ourselves in. After much thought, I've decided that the best thing to do is to take one of the full panels that we have left, one of the remaining two, and cut it up so that we can at least finish above the dormer with the two smaller pieces. And then with the final panel, we'll put it on the straight run here, and it'll bring us out to the last 2 feet of the roof, which will remain exposed. It's not ideal, but I would much rather have the dormer covered because it's a critical area, and then we can get almost to the end of the roof, to the last 2 feet. The plan is to finish this roof as much as I can, tarp the last 2 feet, and try to bend up some more steel, try to find some steel for the ridge cap and get that on. Anyway, time to get back to work and just see what we can do. Okay. 51 3/4. 59. 14 inches to the first screw, and I need 8 inches up at the top, and I need to go 10.5 inches over. Yeah, okay, we're good. Let's cut the piece. I now have the two pieces in above the dormer, which is great, so that's taken care of. And I'll use my final sheet right here, and it'll come out right to about where my foot is, or maybe a bit more. And that's all I have. Well, there you have it. We had just enough steel to finish the entire roof, but the final 2 feet. Can you believe that? Anyway, I've done all I can do for today. I've cleaned up my tools, so I'm gonna jump on the tractor and head out for today. Looks like I'll be driving home in the dark, but I've got a flashlight and the headlights on the tractor are pretty good, so we'll see what I can do tomorrow when I get back here. Just before the snowstorm hit, I managed to fasten one tarp over the exposed strapping, and another over the ridge just above the dormers. As I had figured, finding the remaining panels was difficult. In fact, I'm still not even sure when I'll be able to get them in, and my meager 2-panel order likely won't be enough to get their attention anyway. Unfortunately, roofing steel isn't the only thing we've had trouble getting a hold of lately. We've also run out of flat stock steel, which my dad has been bending up into drip edges, ridge caps, valleys, and dormer flashings for the cabin. He was able to make most of what we needed, except for the dormer flashings and main ridge cap before the roll was used up. We placed an order for a second roll, but that was several months ago now, and it is still on back order. The good news is that after doing a little bit of scrambling, we were able to find a supplier that makes their own flat stock, and they were kind enough to let us use their brake to bend up what we needed, after buying a roll from them, of course.
I'll get you first.
Yep. Just a dozen more pieces to go. Now it was back to the cabin site to see what we could accomplish before the snow deepened. At this point, it seems like we might have to wait until spring to install the final roofing panels. But since it's on the overhang and protected with a tarp, I'm willing to wait. Not that I really have a choice in the matter anyway. That being said, we at least wanted to flash around the dormers, since they are vulnerable to water infiltration. We did our best to sweep the snow from around the dormers. We then used a propane torch to melt away the ice from the metal, being very careful not to bake the paint, or, you know, burn down the cabin.
Yeah, that's good.
My dad and I formed a 2-man assembly line. I made the patterns, and he cut the finished pieces. Then we installed them together. This is the rhythm that we naturally fall into when working together. We know the task, we know each other, and we know what needs to be done. No conversation necessary. There.
I need to bring the caulking gun again for this corner.
Let me just do a corner. Do it here for now.
Yep. And then I'd say, well, you take care of the rest of that. I'm going to get the caulking gun.
Okay.
Make that corner there.
Thanks. You want mine? 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Should be. Yeah, take a pair of snips in case you have to do any trimming. If you need the tape, I can throw it up.
I got one. The dormers have now been flashed and the roof is almost complete, save the main ridge cap and last 2 panels on the overhang. It's not an ideal situation, but I do believe the roof is sufficiently protected from the coming winter. Once materials and the weather allow, you better believe we'll be getting the rest of those pieces on just as soon as we can. In the meantime, there's still lots to do on the cabin, even during the winter. Now all we have to do is decide. Windows next, or fill in the gables? I guess we'll just have to make our decision in the next episode. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, be well, and God bless.